Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Naruto Battles, but today, instead of doing a battle, we are doing Naruto in depth, and basically what that is I'm going to be discussing a Naruto character and giving them a pretty much summary of their origins and their abilities and all that kind of stuff. So today we're going to be starting off with my favorite character in the whole Naruto show, which is Pain. And I don't know why I like him. Probably because I cried for a good 20 minutes when Jiraiya died. Spoiler alert on that, by the way. Kind of too late. But I cried for a very, very long time. And then that kind of like brought me to when he died with Naruto. That made me like him a whole bunch more. Or like the battle, so I ended up liking him in turn. That's pretty much it. So basically what we're going to be starting off with is his origins, and Pain, who we're going to be now referring to as Nagato, who is the transmitter of the chakra to the Pains, was a student of Jiraiya's that he found from the Rain Village during the Third Great Ninja War. And while he taught him, Konan, and Yahiko, who is actually one of the Pains, his corpses, he taught them jutsu, but Nagato had the Rinnegan, which granted him a lot of abilities. And he eventually, along with Konan and Yahiko, formed the Akatsuki, which at first, contrary to what it is now, was a organization for doing good and bringing peace to the Rain Village. And then eventually Danzo did some like behind the scenes creepy thing and ended up getting Hanzo of the Salamander to kill Yahiko, which basically turned Nagato into a killing machine. And then once Nagato was crippled by Hanzo, he became Pain and started making the bodies of Pain. So what I'm going to first start off with is he was not born with the Rinnegan. He was given to them. He was given them from just blanked on a name there. The Madara. He was given to them by Madara, and when he was very, very young. So he grew up with the Rinnegan, and he ended up killing 2 Leaf Shinobi with the Rinnegan at a very, very young age that were trying to hurt his parents. Or that did end up killing both of his parents. And so he was given those Rinnegan from a very, very early age, so he knew how to use them. And he utilized them to their fullest extent in using the Ridoku technique, which is using all 6 bodies, the 6 paths, you could say, of Pain. So also, another very common misconception is that the paths of Pain, those Rinnegan, are not real Rinnegan that are in the paths of Pain. They are just reflections, because during the Ridoku technique, which is, again, I'm going to say, is the 6 paths technique, is when he can put transmitters and he can transmit his chakra to the paths, which is the Ridoku technique. It's the outer path. So then when he can use that technique, he can reflect his thoughts and will onto corpses, basically. And the first corpse, which is the Deva path, I'm actually going to list off the paths right now. There's the Deva path, the Asura path, the human path, the animal path, the Preta path, and the Naraka path. Those are the 6 paths. And the first path was Yahiko's corpse. That is actually the most powerful path. That path gives the ability to pull or push objects and things away or towards the body, and that is the path that is most likely the strongest. That is the path that destroyed the leaf. Then there's the Asura path, which is the path that gives the weapons and turns the body into weapons and can basically summon weapons onto their body. And his Nagato used that, for that corpse, Nagato used a puppeteer for it. And The next path is the human path, and that path is can read the mind of any target and also yank the soul out of the body, which pretty much kills them. It is very, very similar to the Reaper Death Seal technique, and I'm not going to say it's because it's not the same thing, but it is a very, very similar technique to the Reaper Death Seal. But it doesn't seal the soul out of the body. And the animal path is the first path that Pain fought, and that is the path that can summon various creatures and animals and all that kind of stuff. And you can summon the hound or the raptor or the pterosaur or whatever, the big bird, or the rhino, or the lizard. So for that one, he used a Fuma Clan Shinobi for the first pain that Jiraiya ended up killing. That was a Fuma Clan. And then the last path, the second to last path is the Preta path, and that is the one that can absorb all chakra and most ninjutsu. I'm not going to say all ninjutsu, but most ninjutsu it can absorb. And the final path is the Naraka path, and you could summon the King of Hell and either bring people back to life or tell if people are lying by like tearing out their tongue. It's kind of gross, but yeah, that's kind of how it works. So next on, we are going to talk about the abilities, we just talked about the abilities. We're going to talk about Conan, who is the second, Pain's friend, and she's the girl, she's basically the girl Pain. She has a piercing under her lips, and she has a really strange jutsu that Jiraiya taught her, because she was also another of the students that Jiraiya taught, and that was what kind of helped Jiraiya learn the fight, because Jiraiya was not the brightest, but if he would not have taught them, he would have probably died completely in vain. So, and then Conan, she has a jutsu that can basically turn her body into sheets of paper and manipulate paper and turn them into paper bombs. It's very, very strange, but I guess, yeah, that's what she can do. And yeah, she is basically kind of the protector of Pain, or Nagato, actually. Sorry. And she basically sits with the original body of Pain and protects it, I guess you could say. And then we're gonna talk about the two last fights, or the two only fights that Pain was in. Or I'm sorry, that Nagato was in. And the first one was with Master Jiraiya. And that fight, as you guys all probably know, did not go too well for Jiraiya, because first off, he was not a perfect sage as Naruto is, and that he didn't have the real jutsu capability, and he's not as smart as Naruto. And Naruto is not particularly the smartest, but he was smarter than Naruto, or he's stupider than Naruto, and he didn't have the kind of assistance that Naruto had with Kotsuyu and the two elders. Well, Jiraiya did have the two elders on his shoulders when he was fighting Pain, but he was also not aware of any of the abilities, so it put Pain, or Jiraiya, at a major disadvantage while fighting Pain. And that all those combinations of things kind of sealed Pain away, or Jiraiya away. So, yeah. And then the Naruto fight, we all know Naruto came out on top and basically beat Jiraiya. Beat Pain, I'm sorry, by transforming mid-fight into the Kurama, which kind of didn't help when he used the Chibaku Tensei, when Pain used the Chibaku Tensei, or the planetary devastation technique, or whatever you want to call it. So basically, that is about it for all of Pain's things. If you have any questions, or if you want any more in-depth, just comment about it, and I can probably give you guys an answer. So, yeah, that'll be basically it for you guys, and yeah, I guess I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.